All right, welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. As we get you off and going on this Tuesday, December 21st, 2021. Let's waste no time bringing our good friend Lance Smith, who makes the show really, really better in so many ways. Lance, how are you, buddy?
Hey, buddy, how you doing, Joe?
I'm
I'm riveting from the walk-in striptease read. That was awesome. You do a better walk-in than I do.
I tell people, if you want to be an impressionist, everybody has to be able to do a Christopher Walken. If you can't do it, that's not your road to go on.
You're not an impressionist. I've tried, and I sound like I have a cold, a very delayed, what are you doing here? And an old man, there's nothing.
That's a little Al Pacino put in there. I like that. It's well done. Well done. All right. So you're coming to town right now. You're out of state. You live in Florida. You're coming up this week, nationally televised game. And I talked to you on the text yesterday. Just the whole process of doing a game, what you do for national televised, everybody's watching. Nerves, anxiety, anything?
Used to. For me personally, yeah. And then just me as a fan, it's like I have different levels of nerves. Like I'm nervous for my own job. I'm nervous for our company, as an employee of the team. I'm nervous for us. And then as a fan, I'm just nervous. But of the three pillars of nervousness that I've described, I'm less nervous as a fan because the team has stepped up. Now, granted, we laid an egg in Pittsburgh, no doubt about it. Offense struggled, but I believe in Vrabel, believe in the team. I mean, beat the Rams on national TV, beat the Bills on national TV this season, so the team can handle it. But yeah, all eyes on us. And as a Nashvillian, as a native of Middle Tennessee, it's like I want us to shine. I love the bumpers to break. Of course, they hit every honky tonk on Broadway, which gotta love it. And right. Hey, apparently they're not going to be hitting any open air barges and buses, which is fine.
You're right. They're not doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, man, it's a big deal. And then it's everybody's, I will say in the organization, everybody behind the scenes, toeing the line, double checking everybody's work. I mean, we really try to, put a tight show together because when the show comes to town, it's a meeting of the minds, and it's the network understanding what the team is doing. And then it's okay. Now you guys get out of the way. We got to put on a show, and it's amazing. I mean, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of new faces and crew that put this thing together. And it's something to behold, really. I just stand out of the way and watch for the guy with the glove mitts. I don't know. Do you know about the glove mitts?
I do. Yes. That's Michael Kilbane. He's the timeout referee.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Evan Mitts? Okay, yeah. Time out. We go.
That's it. All right, so Thursday, the game's at 7. What time does your day start on Thursday?
On Thursday, I show up. I'm supposed to be there at 1. I like to get there about 12, about noon, and start, walking the parking lot. I talk with some fans that are tailgating. I like to pop in. It's great because now that I've been with the team for a while, the fans, they know me. So when I roll up and there's hot wings, Daddy gets a plate. So yeah, I just cruise around and I get the lay of the land, and then we do our pre-show meetings, and then I have certain set things that I do, pre-tapes and interviews and hanging out with fans.
What I've always been amazed at, what you do a great job of, because when you're on the interviewing or doing something and the feedback from the Jumbotron gets back to you, you never mess up, man. And that is a talent that I think few people recognize, because I would be like, what's going on? You hear the feedback, but you're used to it. You do such a good job. You make it look so easy. That's the problem.
I appreciate it, man. It's tough. I feel like I screw up sometimes. I overcompensate by just yelling. But my biggest thing is it's hard. It is very difficult to be on a mic. I used to be on the field and do it more, but it's very difficult to be on the mic and hear your own voice delayed coming back at you from 360 degrees in this stadium. And what you have to do, you have to speak in phrases. You have to know what you're saying, and your brain has to preload it, and then your mouth has to just shoot it out while your brain is preloading the next thing. Meanwhile, I've got an earpiece in for my producer in case he wants to say anything to me while I'm talking, and occasionally he does. And then I've got my other ear open to what my contestant or my interview is saying. It's a weird thing to sort of like speak in that element because you're hearing yourself come back at you, and you just have to keep pushing through because the minute you stop, you sound like this. So
Oh,
you just
that's great.
go.
You know, it's funny, a quick story. Vince Gill one time sang the national anthem at the Braves World Series in '95, and he lost his earpiece and couldn't hear. And he was following a guy in the front row. He was watching the guy in the front row, and he was mimicking him singing the national anthem. And Vince said, halfway through the national anthem, the guy takes a bite of a hot dog, and Vince had to pause for like a second and regather himself to carry on. Otherwise, he would have blown on national TV. So that always makes me laugh. When I hear your stories like that, it makes me laugh.
Red bombs bursting and relish with mustard.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I could never do that stuff. Hey, I want to ask you about the when you did the Bills game on that Monday night when they won. I know you're a fan, and sometimes you have to bring that fandom in because you got a job to do. What was that like on the field after the game like that? Because that was probably a top 3 all-time game at Nissan Stadium.
Oh, most definitely. You know, those marquee wins are special, and it is not lost on me when I go down to the field to do it. If we win, I do a post-game interview with a player. We don't know who the player is going to be until like honestly 30 seconds before they show up. And and it's really funny because my friends that I work with, we're taking bets like who's going to be Quesenberry? Huh? We got Ben Jones in there. I don't know. But anyway, it's usually somebody that wants to talk. But those moments, as a fan, having done what we just did, I am, man, walking on that turf. It's hallowed ground for me. You know, it is, and I'm there, and it's all I can do to not, to the opposing team,
Right.
or and I sometimes I'll say like to a coach or a player, like Taylor walks by, I'm like, great game, Taylor. And just speaking as a fan, and I shouldn't. I think there's like etiquette. I'm not supposed to do that, but I can't help it because it is that special, and you do feel it. And those night games, when you're on the field, I mean, you know how special the night lights are.
Yeah.
Even high school football. And that's the thing that high school football has over college and pros is that always under the lights, and it's special. The lights bring out the special nature of what just happened, and you really just try to soak it in.
Do you have to balance what you do with what the national broadcasting crew is going to do? I mean, Fox comes to town for this. You work, or you just do your own thing and they work around you? How does that all come together?
Essentially, they are really working around us, but it's just because we are just working during the commercial break. So it's definitely they've handed it off to us and we go. Now, of course, they come back from break and you'll often see I've gone back to watch the playback of our games. And I'm a little overzealous on the mic sometimes. I won't lie. So I'll be watching whoever's doing the call. They're doing it's maybe after halftime and they're coming back. They're setting up the second half and they're in the booth. Whoever's on broadcast doing play-by-play in color, and I'll hear me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm ridiculous. But so we work around them, but they in turn also work around us. They know that we have a show to do, and we do have a cutoff. I mean, there's a definite sort of like Lance shut up time, and if Lance goes over that time, Titans get fined, and Lance gets a little shut your mouth next time, boy.
All right, so hey, I want you to hold through. We're gonna do a break real quick. Other side, I want you to come back with maybe your most embarrassing, funniest moment that you've had. Because again, I think I love having you on here because what you do on game day, I think maybe 10 people in the country could do that, and they don't realize what all goes into it. So we'll come back with you, your most embarrassing moment after this. You're watching Mornings on Main Street. All right, welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. We're joined by Lance Smith. We held him over for the break and to get more information about what the great job he does on. I've got like 1,000 questions for you running through my mind for Thursday. All right, the one moment where you just look back at the time you might have been embarrassed, but now you just laugh.
Honestly, I mean, I've been in this business for over 20 years, so you got to laugh right away because if you hold on to anything, I mean, if you hold on to anything and you sleep on it or, it keeps you up at night, it's like, let it go because, it's gone. It's done. And you've got plenty more to screw up in the future. I don't know. I've had a few embarrassing moments. I don't know which one is sort of tops. There was one time we had a game to play with two contestants, and we were in the south end zone, And just so happens, I used to be on the field more during the game, but with COVID, they want as many people off the field as they can. But so I was on the field, and the action was actually happening in the south end zone. In fact, it was a goal line stand by the Titans. Now, whether I'm in the 300s as a fan or I'm on the field working, like, I feel like my voice, me yelling, is going to affect the game. I mean, that's my belief, and I think everybody should think that way. And I'm screaming and I'm yelling, ah, trying to get, get them the false start or whatever. Anyway, goal line stand, we stop, fourth goal, nothing. They turn the ball over. We win this series, but I've been losing my mind. And then the next thing I hear was from Duke, our old PA announcer, is, all right, Lance has got a couple of contestants out. Lance, who do you have? And I'm done. And all my professional, we've got Michael and Sarah here who want to shut. Anyway, I set it up, and then the very first question that's up, I'm like, so who do you think it is? And I just blurt out the answer. Luckily, the game wasn't a game. It was all a ruse to they were plants, and they were getting special tickets. So the game did not matter, but if it did, I would have. There was that, and then then one time, and this is you'll appreciate this. It takes a team of people to do what we do, and there's this process, there's audio engineers and camera guys and PAs. Everybody's got to check everybody's work for things to get down the line. Anyway, I'm supposed to do a hit, and I don't carry the mic with me the whole time. There's an audio engineer that carries, and an A2. They carry just to make sure there's always battery power. There's this redundancy of oversight, and the redundancy slipped up on itself because I stand, and this is year 2, year 3. I wasn't sort of in my mindset of as a producer of like, hey, let's get on. And I'm just assuming everybody's just gonna give me what I need. And they throw it down to me, and I don't have a microphone, and the camera's right there, and T-Rack's behind me. T-Rack's doing a little soft shoe because he realizes like I've got nothing. And so he and I are just high-fiving. I'm like, yeah, go Titans, but I've got no mic. And I'm just, and Duke's going, Lance, what do you got?
Oh no.
And so I'm just cheering. And that was embarrassing. But I think for me, professionally, we do these breakdowns of plays that are happening around the league in real time. We're getting them real fast, and the producer's putting them together. I've got like 3 plays, and I can't really watch the clip closely. I'm just sort of glancing at it. Okay, let's go. And they throw it to me, and then I'm gonna do these 3 Sports Center style plays. And Michael Ho'omanawanui was a tight end for the Saints at the time, and he caught a pass and was screaming down the field, and I was excited because of his name. And when you do broadcasting, as you get something fun to do,
right?
And he's Hawaiian, and I lived in Hawaii for a couple of years, so I appreciated the Hawaiian alphabet. It's like 16 letters only or something, and never a consonant next to each other, a bunch of vowels. And I tried to pronounce it. I didn't know him right away. I was like, and I had figured it out that it was Humanawanui. Now, we had this Marcus Mariota is our quarterback. We have a large contingent of like Hawaiian fans in the stadium. And this whole play, as he streaks down the sideline, I'm going, Humanawanui, Humanawanui. Like I'm going, Manamanap. And I felt terrible. And it's like, as awful as that sounds, that Ho'omanawanui and Humanawanui, this is a white guy just butchering a Hawaiian name.
Right.
And when I found out in the end, I felt awful because that's just like,
yes,
culturally insensitive, because I'm going Humanawanui, and it's
because it's wrong. You're right. You feel bad because it's wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, we laugh, but it was wrong. And I the same thing when I was in sports. You messed the name up. His name is this, and you feel awful because I don't know my last name.
Yeah, it matters. It matters, and you appreciate that, Joe. And it's just like it's a little thing, and so it's like I've done other things that I guess were visually more embarrassing to me. I mean, I've miscalled some of those plays because I got the wrong information. I'm not throwing anybody in the bus. That's just the process of a team of people coming together. Sometimes things slip. It just happens. But that Ho'omanawanui versus Humanawanui, because I was really pushing the Humanawanui like he's a Muppet running down the sideline. And it's like, no one never said anything to me, but I felt bad and was embarrassed. Well,
good. I like that. All right. Last question. And I'll preface it by giving you a story. I want to know if you've ever run into anybody or been knocked down. And I asked this because I had to cover a Alabama-Tennessee game in 1997, and Tennessee won the game. And I went and was going to try to get Peyton Manning interview. We were running to get him, and a guy walked in front of me, and I launched this guy 10 yards.
Oh,
and it was the governor of Tennessee, and I launched him. He was on the field, shouldn't have been down there, and I hit him, and he went flying, and I felt awful. And it was Don Sundquist, by the way, who I hit.
yeah, I was gonna say it was Sunquist, wasn't it?
Yeah, see his glasses fly everywhere, and I just stood there like, man, I just nailed the governor of Tennessee,
Oh,
and I had to
wow.
leave, and so I had to run off, and luckily I didn't get arrested. Have you had any moments like that?
Man, I've never physically like trucked into anybody, but that's impressive. The governor.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I don't think physically I've ever really ever. I really try to kind of watch my space because I always feel like I'm in the wrong place. Like I don't deserve to be wherever it is I'm standing. I don't care if I'm in
Right.
the mall. I'm like, oh, it's Victoria's Secret. Sorry, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that I've hit anybody necessarily. I've yeah, I've gone into the wrong locker room to use the bathroom and realized like, oh, this is an active locker room, and I'm not an
Oops, I'm
active
just the
player.
kicker.
Sorry.
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. No, that's about it. I think that's about
Oh,
it. Yeah.
man.
That's
Good
funny.
times.
It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't too, Ned McWhorter, Ned McWhorter, he had some girth to him, right?
Well, but I hit Don Sundquist is who
You
I
hit
hit.
Sunquist. That's what I'm saying. Like, at least, you didn't knock down him. Yeah,
I just
Sunquist.
remember Lance hitting him, and he went flying, and his glasses went off, and everybody kind of stopped. And I said, "I'm sorry," and ran the other way because we had to get Peyton going off the field. That was a big
Yeah.
thing in '97, and
So
so, but the
you
governor
ran off and
shouldn't
he was still down.
yeah, yeah, and I thought I was gonna get chased by security. Nobody came after me, and I guess the governor probably shouldn't be in the middle of the 50-yard line after the
Yes,
game
that's
in
football.
Alabama.
That's football, sir.
Shouldn't have
Yeah.
happened. Safe travels to Nashville. Again, I love what you do. You do such a fantastic job with everything, and hopefully we'll have you back on when the Titans have a home playoff game in January.
Yes, sir, Joe. That's what I want to hear. Because I mean, man, look, I know that the Pittsburgh game was not what we wanted, but this team is solid. I believe in Vrabel, and got to get Henry back.
That's it. Got to do it. And AJ Brown, hopefully on Thursday night too as well.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, Joe.
Lance, have a great day. Thank you as always. Lance Smith, the game day host of the Tennessee Titans at Nissan Stadium. Again, when you go to the game, you'll see him. You'll appreciate what he does and everything that goes on because it's not easy to do that in front of 70,000 people who are watching your every move. Hey, later in the show, coming up around 7:40, we've got a really cool story for you. This lady in Murfreesboro started a Facebook group to help out single moms who just kind of needed advice, maybe needed help around the house or just things that are going on to make their lives better. And it has gone off famously. And so Heather Shepard's going to join us at 7:40. And I really want you guys to see and understand and be part of this segment because her impact, what she's doing by simple act of starting a Facebook group has helped hundreds of single moms in Middle Tennessee. We'll talk to Heather when we come back.